Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45, and tonight we're going to have some fun, as we always do, talking about MotoAmerica, which is, for some classes, it's the first round. For other classes, it's the second round. We got World Superbike that happened last week and coming up this week, and we have MotoGP coming up this week. But before I get all into that, let's bring the fellas in one at a time and see what's good. Cheetah, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I am well and excited for all the fun things that we're going to chop it up about tonight. How's Atlanta? How's the weather?
Atlanta's good. Weather's good, man. You know, just coming off the weekend, off of watching the MotoAmerica Barber showdown that just happened. Crazy weekend with the weather there, so weather also affected over here with the rain, but not as intense as over there. So, yeah, a lot to talk about.
Right. I think you might have wished you were at CMP. Looked like it was dry there.
Yeah. A lot to talk about there too, man.
No doubt. Track stars, man. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight? How's NYC?
You already know NYC is raining out here like it is everywhere else, man. I was in Pittsburgh this weekend actually, so I was visiting my son out there. It was parent week at Carnegie Mellon, and we had a really good time out there, man. It's an amazing city, and
nice. Did you go down to their boardwalk, and check out their market down there? They got a crazy market.
I wanted to go by the stadium for real, because the Yankees were playing Pittsburgh, and of course we annihilated them. You know what I mean? But it was more about the family and stuff. So I was out there, doing family things, man.
No doubt. That's what's up, man. And family is the most important thing. And let's keep that rocking. Luis Ortega, the real one. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing, man? Well rested, dry?
Nah, man, still recouping. I literally just got home yesterday. After almost 3 weeks on the road, traveling, Coda, Barber, sick. Cali, sick, food poisoning, everything, man. It's been a eventful couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, you're like, give me more. I can take more, right?
Nah. I want to take a nap.
No doubt. We're going to bring the guys in and get this thing going. MotoAmerica was at Barber. For some classes, like you heard me say in the beginning, is the first round. For others, it's the second round and stuff like that. Let's start with World Superbike and how that kicked off before we get into the weather and the craziness and stuff like that. What are your guys' thoughts? We'll go with Cheetah first. What are your thoughts on MotoAmerica kicking off, what World Superbike is doing, and, the guys that are still in World Superbike and versus the few that went down to Super Sport and, racing that class? What are your thoughts?
Bro, it was a great weekend with MotoAmerica happening. First round, my favorite track in the Southeast, my favorite track in the U.S., Barber Motorsports. So super fun to watch. Some unfortunate news over there with some of my favorite riders, some of the ex-teammates I've had with endurance racing and stuff. Unfortunately, Riston Grigg crashed out, had a real bad injury, and unfortunately he's getting surgery this Thursday. Even his teammate, Cam Peterson, crashed out. But it was all in all, it was some good racing. We got to see some new bikes entering MotoAmerica. And we got the R9, the debut. We got to see what it does. And then World Superbike, of course, Toprak and Bulliga battling it out was just my highlight. So a lot to unpack there and just a phenomenal last couple of weekends of racing.
No doubt. Let's move on to Luis. What are your thoughts? You were there, actually. So, I think it might be a little bit different for you being there. What was the atmosphere like for you? I know you're grinding, so it's not the same as pulling out the lawn chair and the cooler.
If I did, I'd have plenty of places to set it down. I'll tell you that much, man. The attendance this weekend was not where it should be. I don't know if it was the weather or the looming threat of the weather, because since Tuesday or Monday they were saying there's going to be torrential storms and storms of the century and everything, and that kind of stuff does scare away spectators, especially to an outdoor spectator and a motorsport, right, where you might go there and might not actually see any motorsport. But the racing itself, it was great. On Saturday it was really good. The Yamaha R9 is 2 for 2 now in debuts. I mean, it won in World Supersport on its debut, and it won in here in the U.S. both races on Saturday and Sunday. So it was a good weekend for that. There were a lot of crashes, unfortunately, Saturday and Sunday. There were a lot of people went down to the weather. All in all, it was good. I kind of hope to see more fans out for the next round at Road Atlanta. You know, I think there was a combination of a lot of things that kept the fans away from this event, but I'm hoping that Atlanta bounces back big, because MotoAmerica needs some spectators, man.
No doubt. I think a lot of the racing in the U.S. As far as two wheels, need to bring out the fans more, and hopefully hopefully it's just the weather that deterred some people. But we're going to dive further into that. Track stars, man. You heard Lewis talk about the R9. I mean, I while he was talking, I was counting the numbers. You could get an R9 and change your letters to Ducati. Is you know. What happened to the bike that won Daytona? What happened to that bike this weekend?
What can we say, man? You know, Josh Herman is an important person, you know, in MotoAmerica. He does great things, and Lewis just loves to, you know, support Josh Herman in every way he can. I can't wait till Lewis gets Josh Herman some type of Dinesa deal, and you know, wearing the right gear, because he's definitely on the right bike. It's just unfortunate, you know. We should have the bike with the right rider on it, you know, and the Warhorse team, because the Warhorse is so important to MotoAmerica as well. We bring all the drama and the team to watch on national TV. You know, if Warhorse isn't on it, the views kind of go down, you know. That's what happens. It's not necessarily the rain. What can we say? You know, Ducati factory team, all or nothing, you know. It's not the same.
Herron finished fifth in the first race, and I'm trying to see who I forget who his teammate is, but I don't see him on the list. Is it just because of the weather this weekend, guys? I mean, you know, Cam Beaubier, he won the race, which is good to see because he got hurt towards the end of the season last year. I think he's one of the few BMWs on the grid. Bobby Fong finished second, looking really good on that Yamaha. Jake Gagne looking good on the Yamaha. What are you guys' thoughts about, you know, where Herron finished fifth, and these other guys, and Beaubier winning the first race?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching Herron talk about his post practice. The interviewer walked up to him and he just kind of admitted that he didn't have the pace, and he was like, some weekends you just don't have it. And he spoke about that, and he's one of the riders that's actually open about this, and that's why I really like his mentality when it comes to that. So I mean, he ended up finishing similar to how he qualified, I believe. But talk about Richie Escalante crashing, almost running into Gagne on lap 3, going into Charlotte's Web. That's a turn. I mean, you can go back and watch some of my videos on YouTube. I've almost ran into people there too. When you're a hard breaker and you can almost lose it. I've never lost it the way Richie did in that moment, but he really lost it and was super close to Gagne to where he had to bail. And I was going to say, Richie, don't drop the bike, run into the gravel. But I guess the pace he was just carrying was just so much, he just decided to bail and not worry about anything. So unfortunate for him, but what an impressive debut for Bobby Fong on attack.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. I mean, he's battling back and forth with Cam Beaubier the whole time. Yeah, that's the crash right there. Actually, he didn't crash there, but I mean, it's just insane how that works, man. Unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
But yeah, man, Cam Beaubier and Bobby Fong battling it out, and I think he gained it back finally. Beaubier did at the very last few laps.
Yep.
But impressive debut by Bobby Fong.
I agree. What are your thoughts, Lewis, on I don't know how much of the race you caught while you were there, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, before the beginning of the year, a lot of the riders have been saying that Beaubier is really right now the rider to beat. just from the testing that they've done and some of the other stuff that they've seen, he came back super healthy this year. He's probably in the best shape he's been since he came back to the U.S. He's recovered from his injuries, and he's on a really, really great bike. At tracks where you can kind of stretch the legs of that bike, it's going to be a serious contender. And now they've gotten some of the grip and handling aspects of the bike a little bit nicer. So even on smaller tracks, when he can't really open up the full power, you're going to see that bike's going to be competitive at a lot more tracks. Now, if Cameron can stay healthy, if he can stay off the ground, if he can stay away from people taking him out, this is going to be the big thing. If he can do that, I mean, we all know that he's very capable of being a champion. He's proved it more than enough times, and he's got enough, plaques and awards to prove that he knows how to win.
Right.
As far as Bobby kind of just carried over what he was doing last year to this year. You know, he was the number one Yamaha rider last year on a satellite bike. He wasn't on the official team, but yet he had more points than both of the factory riders. And this is the reason that he got the factory seat. You know, he proved that he can do well with not the best Yamaha. So let's see what he can do on the factory team. And I think this weekend he showed it. I mean, I've talked to Bobby, and I got to be honest with you, this is the most prepared that I've seen him coming into a season ever. If you see him between now and last year, I want to say he's down 18 to 20 pounds. His cardio his cardio is through the roof. I mean, I want to say he's in the 150 range. Last year he was racing, he was more in the 170 range. His cardio is through the roof. I mean, he is really, really as prepared as I've ever seen him, man. I feel bad for what happened to him on Sunday. He had some technical issue with some of his items, and that's why he couldn't really perform at the function he was doing. He's usually not really good in the rain, and I was really surprised how well he was doing in the rain until he had his technical issues.
Right.
But I think Atlanta is a great track for him. He did well there last year on the satellite bike. I think he'll do well again. Cameron Bobby is still going to be the guy to beat. And, the other riders, I think Suzuki is going to surprise a lot of people this year because from what I've heard, they've got more grip coming out of corners and through the corners than anyone else. Like their corner speed and their exit is stronger than everybody else. So at tracks where you have to slow down a lot to get out of the corner, with their grip level, they're going to do really, really well. So it should be a good super sports season, super bike season. I'll give it that, man.
Okay.
I have nothing to say with Josh Herring.
All right, we'll go with that. Track star, what was more impressive, Jake Gagne's finish or Cameron's finish? Both coming off of injuries. Jake was more problematic over the whole season of last year and stuff like that. What was more impressive to you?
I think none of the above. You know, with Jake Gagne, you expect him to be up there every single time. Hurt or not hurt, this guy is an animal. He knows every track back and forth. Put him out there, you gotta determine that he's coming in first. But I'm more at Cameron Bourbier. We know he's a superstar. He's always been in contention, but can he stay healthy the whole season? Every year he's raced out here, something really crazy happens and we lose him, you know. But I'm not mad at Josh Herring's performance. Third and fifth, he put the bike, he collected the points he needed to. My surprise, and I expect him to really step it up this year, is Sean Dillon Kelly, baby. He to me, he is the what you call it? The surprise horse, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Dark horse.
The dark horse, yeah. I think he's been in contention for the past 2 years, and that's like super impressive. And just that, now remember, he also switched motorcycles. He's coming from the BMW now to Suzuki, and to still put the bike up there, this tells you the level of rider he is. And I really wish him an amazing season this year. And like Lewis said, Bobby is a problem. He was on a 3-man team, basically. he was part rider mechanic, Dainese representative, and transporter of supplies. This guy was doing it all at playing every single position at MotoAmerica and for Dainese. And this year for him to just focus on riding and being a factory team, yo, he's gonna be a problem this year. He might be the second dark horse, but he already proved last year that he's coming for blood. And being having the factory support, I expect nothing else but to see him top 5 consistently throughout this season.
Okay, I like that. What are your guys' thoughts on the Super Sport race? Schultz looked like he's a runaway favorite. What are your thoughts on and how that played out? And I don't know if you guys are familiar with T. Cobbs. He got a seat last minute and running in that class. What are your thoughts, Cheetah?
Yeah, no, Matthew Schultz is looking just super strong throughout practice, throughout qualifying, leading into the race, looking really strong on that new R9. Blake Davis is right there with him the whole time, just right next to him with the lap times. And then it was usually PJ when it came to practice and qualifying. And then we saw, in the race, Matthew had a real good race. PJ started catching up, started feeling good, put it in the mix and put Blake into third or fourth, I believe. It was a great race to watch. I mean, it was really interesting to see how that R9 was going to mix it up now, how much torque it had coming out of the corners now compared to that V2, which it seems to have a lot with the way they've built it up at Strack. And then you got Cam Peterson and Ty Scott had a really good battle for fourth in those last few laps. That was a really fun thing to watch. Ty Scott didn't have it for the podium this time. And you can kind of see if the R9 is going to be a real problem this year. Even with Blake Davis, the debut, you see that V2 ball right there on the start.
Yeah,
that wasn't good, Cam.
Listen, man, it takes a little bit. That power comes on early. You got to get used to that.
No, it does. And look at that. I love that corner, that turn 2 right there. It's just such a swoopy corner, and it sets up everything after that. Yeah, leading into turn 5. Yeah. But great Super Sport race. I'm really happy that the R9 is at a place where they can battle well with those V2s right now. I'm excited to see that.
Okay. Lewis, again, you were there in person to see all it go down. Is it just a fluke for the Yamaha?
No. I mean, they're working off of a really good platform. I mean, they know they have a lot of information from the R6. They got a little bit more torque now with the R9. So, for all those people that were really, really shitting hard on the R9 before they even saw it perform, I wish I can go back and find all those Facebook posts, and I'm sure they're dirty deleting a lot of things right now off Facebook because, I was shitting on the R9 5-6 months ago, and now I got to eat crow. I think the R9 is probably going to be the bike of the class. Unfortunately, I think the least impressive bike this year is probably going to be the Gixxer 750 again. It's going to have a couple of tracks where it, does well, but I think the R9 and the Ducati are going to be the class of the class. But we have 4 really good riders at the front on R9s, and then we've got 1 really good rider on a V2, and then 2 riders that have black flashes of brilliance, but not steady brilliance every single week, at least not in the top 5 every weekend. So, PJ is going to have a lot of lonely trips at the front, being the only V2 and surrounded by a bunch of R9s is the way that I see it.
Corey Alexander is there as well.
Talk about it, man.
10th place is right there, bro. It's right there in the top 5. You could practically see them from 3-4 turns away. Like, you're right there, bro.
Corey Alexander did pop up there, and Kayla got 5th, bro. Kayla came in 5th.
Talk about it. Kayla
came in 5th.
I was waiting
Corey
for the Kayla comment.
But how impressive is Blake Davis as a youngster? And we'll get to Kayla as well, because that's very impressive. But, Blake got on the podium in race 1.
Well, there's a reason that Yamaha signed him directly as a rider. Like, he's not just signed by Strack, he's actually signed by Yamaha. Because Yamaha sees this kid's talent, and this kid is he's a future. I mean, he's a star now in his own right, but he's got the right people behind him. He's working with the right teams. And, Yamaha sees his talent. Yamaha signed him to a long-term contract. And there's a road for him from Super Sport to Superbike if he continues to perform the way he's performing. And I hate to say, I mean, the Super Sport class used to be the feeder class for Superbike.
Right.
And then we got all Superbike champions or ex-Superbike winners in Super Sport. It's like, look, either this is a feeder series where we feed people to Superbike, or is this a fallback series for people that can't make it in Superbike or can't find a ride in Superbike? And now they're really taking away opportunities for younger guys. With that said, look where Blake is. He's right there in the mix. And like I told Blake when I saw him, I'm like, look, he's like, hey, there's a lot of fast guys here. And I said, dude, iron sharpens iron. If you want to be fast, you race against fast guys. If you're up there racing with Matthew, with PJ, with all these guys that have been doing it for a while, you're only going to get better. You're not going to get worse. I'd rather you race with fast guys and come in third or fourth place than race with slow guys and win every weekend, because you're not really elevating your own skill level until you really push your skill level. And he's right there, man. He's right there.
Very, very, very impressive. Track stars, man. What does Ducati have to do?
To beat a 17-year-old on a R9. To beat a 17-year-old on an R9, what does Ducati have to do? Come on, quick answer.
You need to stop, number one. And congratulations to Blake, the Dainese family, showing up there, you know what I mean, representing. But, it's going to be hard to beat the Ducati. I mean, it's the first race. People shaking up the cobwebs, running the numbers, seeing analytics, seeing how the bike is performing out there, physically, how you feel. You know what I mean? I mean, PJ Jacobson put the bike up there already. We know. Matthew Schultz is going to be in the mix. We already know. These two guys are going to be up there. This is our Pecco and Marquez. You know what I mean? We could put Blake Davis as our Alex Marquez, because we know how successful he's been in the class below, and then coming up as of recently to the super sport class. He's been in the mix. But when you see people like Kayla Jakob, and I know he was going to say, oh, it was raining, she's a weather rider. My man, she's a beast in the wet. Race one.
I was in the dry, bro.
Where was she in the dry?
Yeah, she finished fifth in the dry, seventh in the wet.
Yeah,
seventh in the wet. But no, my fault. I was talking about the wet race, because I know how Lewis feels.
Last season.
Yeah, and this is Lewis's favorite thing. When it rains, half the grid is gone, and this is how she does it. Yo, she is a problem. And Lewis, we need a suit for her too. You know what I mean? Like, we need a suit. I want all the people I'm fans of in Dainese. Now the newbie to the show is Cameron Peterson. Finally on a Ducati, a person I've been wanting to see on the Ducati bike. And it may be the perfect timing for him to come to Ducati, because he wasn't really doing what he needed to do on the Yamaha. And I think a lot of that had to do with his relationship with the man, Gagne, and playing that second fiddle to him, not only because of teammate rise, but we also know that the skill set is very high when you're next to Gagne, and it's easy to be intimidated by it or feel like you don't have the shot to compete with him or against him. So I think him coming to the super sport class, it will give him more confidence to really perform and shine, and then come back to the superbike class. I don't think this is the that inferior class neither. I think some of the best racing we saw was in Super Sport last year. Everyone's in Super Sport. We don't have, I think, enough bikes in Super Bike. The best racing is in Super Sport right now. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I'll say this. I don't know. I think Lewis is going to say you're wrong, so I'll give him a chance to say that. But I'll say this. Normally, we'll see older riders stepping down in class or moving, MotoGP, they go to World Superbike and then they kind of move around. You see what Los Bass is doing now. It's rare when a competitive rider is in the top class and then they move back a class. And maybe he saw what Matthew Schultz did last year and said, hey, I might as well do the same thing. And, I'll pick on Cam Bobier a little bit because he left Moto2 to come back to the American Series instead of sticking it out there as well, which is his right to do. But normally it's at the end of your career, you'll see people move down. So that is a little bit different in MotoAmerica these last couple of years, as some really good competitive riders in World Superbike, in the Superbike class, move back to Super Sport. And it could just be finances too, because everything is very expensive. Speaking of
before you get off that subject, I just want to bring up Josh Herrin did it. Josh Herrin was in Superbike, went down to Super Sport, won the championship.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the inferior class. I just think it's when it's what's offered and it's what's available, you're gonna take it.
There's two things that are happening here. There's the economics of Superbike. There's only so many seats, and only so many asses can go in those seats. Josh Herrin, when he came back from Moto2, was persona non grata. Because when you remember when he came back from Moto2, he had to find a seat in Super Sport on an R6, and he was in the Super Sport class for a bit, and then he tried to jump up to Superbike. Then he got jumped back down to Super Sport with the Ducati V2 and earned his way back to Superbike after winning on the Ducati V2. So that's economics and that's politics there that are involved. A lot of the people that are going from Superbike to Super Sport aren't doing that because necessarily they want to. It's one of two things. The economics of Superbike is not there for them. There's not a seat for them, or they don't have the money to pay for a seat. So their option is to go down to Super Sport. And that's the realistic thing here that people don't want to talk about. There's money involved and there's only so many seats. And as talented as you are, there's still only so many seats. And then that's where the political part of it comes in. If you burn enough seats because you have the wrong attitude, you're going to find yourself without a seat. And I'm not saying that's the case for everybody in Super Sport, but that's the case for a lot of people that are in Super Sport now. They were in Superbike. They burned the wrong people, said the wrong things, or did the wrong things. And then when other rides came up, people were like, do we want to put that person on our bike? Or do we want to put this other person on our bike? Because let's be honest, I'll be very 100% honest with you. And I've told this to track starters' face. If not for Ducati, Josh Herrin would probably not have a seat in Superbike right now. Yeah. Because almost every single team in that paddock would probably not want him on the team because he's Josh Herrin.
Well, I mean, I think just based on his history of winning, but like he wouldn't have got those opportunities if Ducati hadn't given it to him.
Oh, no, absolutely. Because Yamaha, I guarantee you'll never see him on a Yamaha again. At least not as long as Attack Yamaha. As long as Attack Yamaha is running the Yamaha team, you'll never see him on a factory Yamaha bike.
I think Stamboli is going to make up. I think they made up with him somewhat in some ways.
Trust me, man. There's a difference between what's in front of the camera and what's behind the camera.
No, for sure. There's definitely some
in front of the camera, Chris Ulrich hugged him after Daytona. Behind the camera, that's a different story. You'll never see him on a M4 Suzuki. You'll never see him on an Attack Yamaha. What other factory bikes are there?
No, I mean, just going back to Cam P, like I think he can go back to 1,000 if he shows that he can win a championship in this class. If he can get up there or just really close to winning a championship or win the championship, I think he may get that shot, Warhorse, something like that. So
maybe on a Warhorse. I don't think he'll ever be back on Yamaha again.
Yeah, they let him go.
I think that bridge is burned and the ashes were paid on.
Yeah. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Josh Herrin or Cameron Peterson?
We talk about both.
Will never be on Yamaha again.
Yeah, both of them.
Both.
Neither one of them will ever see an attack Yamaha seat
Oh
again.
my God.
Except when they walk past the garage and look at the bike.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think is the best motorcycle on the grid? What attracts the most eyes on the grid?
We're not talking about that. We're talking about if the
Let me.
Ducati
I'm building it up.
Listen. First of all, you're the guy that says Rossi developed the Ducati, so you already are like 20 steps behind us. All right. If the Ducati ride goes away, listen to me. If the Ducati ride goes away in Superbike, Josh Herrin's choices are going to be limited because he's got a lot of people in the paddock that really don't like him. Whether you want to believe it or not, he might be your boy. He signed an autograph for you. This is facts. And there's other people in the paddock that when you go around the paddock and say certain names, there's certain teams that don't want anything to do with those.
I don't know. I'll be the devil's advocate, bro, and just say that's the hardest thing to do now, especially his talent is undeniable right now.
Talk about it. Thank you.
The Daytona 200, he just won the championship. He's coming
any other talent. You're making it sound like he's the only talent.
I get it. You're talking about the political side of it and all that, but you're saying he can't get a ride. I mean, I'm sure
he can get a ride. I'm saying with the top
maybe not
rides,
on the top teams. Yeah,
the top team. He can definitely get a ride.
Let me say this,
dude. Shaibi is still racing a 2012 BMW.
You hear this guy?
Yeah.
You know, like
he mentioned Shaibi. He mentioned Shaibi. Yo, listen. Trust me, if something were to happen between Josh Herrin and Warhorse, and God forbid, we know it ain't, because him and Bobby is like this. Him and Luis is like this. Not Luis Ortega, Luis de Napoli, like this. It's not. But let's talk about a fabricated situation where he's released from Ducati. I can't even say it. It doesn't even come out. But
Rex just got the
let
popcorn.
me tell you that the first company that will reach out to him and give him Jake Gagne's seat is Yamaha, baby.
You fucking out of your mind.
Oh man.
That'll be the
whatever you smoking in California, whatever you smoking in New York is the best shit in the country, bro.
Yo, listen, he's the champion. The champion.
He was the champion before. Listen, he was the champion before.
He's the champion of Daytona.
Let me ask Rex what he thinks about this.
Yeah,
you settle this tie.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna listen. From listening to what Lewis is saying, you know how they talk about those families that meet once a year, and we don't know where to talk about how the world's gonna run. Sound like Lewis is sitting in some rooms where I don't have it privy to.
But what do you think? What do you think, though? You know,
what do I think?
Ignore what Lewis said. Ignoring what Lewis said.
I'll say this. Joe Roberts come to mind with Aprilia. Some other riders come to mind.
God.
It is this.
Oh my God! He's on the outside.
No, but this is the dark part of
racing, of
motorsports. People hold grudges. People hold grudges, and I'll say it's good and bad, because I think that on the other hand, if they love you, you will always have a job in motorcycle racing somewhere, somehow, if they love you. You know what I mean? But if they don't, it's just such a. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because I'm still on the outside and I want to sit where Lewis is sitting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all I'm saying is, I think that teams don't sign back teams. Riders, and we've been seeing that, and I've complained about it so much in MotoGP with Ika Lukuono and these guys that got 1 year, Remy Gardner.
But we're talking about America. We're talking about America. It's different in America.
Well, in some ways, but we might have the ones that started it, because if you look at the 80s and 90s, America was running the world when it came to motorcycle racing, and holding grudges in NASCAR and holding grudges. And you look at the NBA, you look at the NFL, you look at these things, man. When they love you, they love you. And when you act like you're bigger than whatever the thing is, it's like they just sever ties. And for a rider, if you don't have your money in order, it's you're on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And
Okay, we're talking about.
I'll throw this one at you. Josh Hayes, 50
Yes.
years old and is always getting rides. Why? Because the entire time he raced in MotoAmerica, he became beloved to everybody. He goes around the paddock helping other riders. He goes around a paddock and sits with other riders and reviews their data, not because he's getting paid, because that's who he is.
Well, you don't think he's paying for his ride?
But
For his current ride, he's not paying for that ride.
He's not paying for that ride?
I'm not saying he's getting paid to ride,
right?
But he's not paying for the ride.
Right.
Because
let me say,
look at his teammate. He is a veteran guy that can teach a lot of guys. Who's sitting with Blake Davis and showing Blake Davis what to do? Josh Hayes. Who's sitting with Bobby Fong and reviewing Bobby Fong's data? Josh Hayes. Like, this guy is beloved around the paddock because
he's getting money from those kids too.
Yeah, he gets some. But again, when they just brought in Xavi Flores specifically to work with Blake Davis. But this is a guy that's beloved in the paddock. Every year he can get a ride. Somebody's more than willing to put him on a bike because they like working with him. They love the attitude. They love what he brings to the sport. Josh Herrin, he ain't that guy.
Yeah.
Hold on. What guy isn't Josh Herrin? Josh Herrin isn't the guy in everyone's garage giving them data. No, but Josh Herrin is. He is a winner. He is a hard worker, and on top of that, he is a money bank to MotoAmerica and the riders in teams because he brings direct sponsorship not only to himself but to everyone on the paddock. This what you and you got to know that a rider like Josh Herrin is, as much as he's hated, he's needed. He's needed. And every team would love to have him on his team, even though they hate him when they're racing against him. It happens.
Trax, I'm gonna say this, bro. If okay, I don't know the future, but this is a great argument and great debate if he will or won't get a ride in the future. But I'll say this: if this guy, basically the Conor McGregor of the sport currently, the talker,
yes, that is what he is.
Right?
Yes,
if
I agree with that comment.
Ride in the future, the sport's truly dying, man. That's all I'm gonna say. If he cannot get a ride, the guy that will save the sport. I mean, the guy. How can you not love the guy, even if you hate him, right? He made a reel of him saying, guys, I need everyone to jump on and just come to these events. Google up the MotoAmerica.com.
Yes.
Look up the closest
Talk
event
about
to you.
that.
Come on. He made it like a 5-minute walking reel while he's walking around promoting the sport, which a lot of guys aren't doing this kind of stuff. And he's bringing in a cross-platform of people from the street guys he's posting on, attracting those Ducati guys and all that. So he's a big part of keeping the sport alive is riders like him. And there's very far and few between as far as personalities like him go in the sport.
And with that, I'll definitely agree there that he definitely is a personality that we need to, more riders need to try to emulate or replicate, because that is something that we're missing here is personalities. I don't know half the grid. If I'm not in the grid, I don't know half the grid. And that's one of the biggest disconnects that I feel that we have as a sport is we don't know the people that are riding in these sports because they don't give us the right access. And MotoAmerica is trying to do it with their different video series and, Pressure to Rise and things like that. But again, that's a disconnected connection. Yeah, I get to see what they're doing behind the scenes, but I don't know this person. This person doesn't interact with me. And this is a bigger problem that we have to talk about is media training for the riders in MotoAmerica. As good as you are, if you don't have media training, you suck. You have very little value. And we saw it this weekend. I sit at almost every podium to see what the riders say. I could care less who won. I just want to see what they do when the mic gets put in their face. And 99% of the time, it's the most useless shit. It's your opportunity to connect with fans, and they do the same exact script over and over. They don't do anything to separate themselves. They don't do anything to ingratiate themselves. Like, we're working on something right now with some of our riders to try to ingratiate themselves with fans because, you're working with us, but as an individual, I want you to be successful. Even if Dainese is not involved, I want you to be successful.
It's just as important as health and fitness is to the riders racing. It is to the health and fitness of the sport, because you have to have a guy that can speak well. And I would almost implore hire a third party to come in and handle the service to media train these guys.
It's I mean, we're doing something where, we're trying to get them to create a landing page, a social landing page that'll have all their socials and have some videos and things like that. And literally putting a barcode, a QR code on the rider, on his suit. And whenever a fan comes by, hey, if you want more information about me, scan my QR code, go to my website, you learn more about me, you get this, you get that, you all get on my, try to grow this, because organically it's not growing. Right. The fan base is shrinking.
And how much of that, though, is the team owners versus the riders? Because you got to think of some of these young riders, they're pretty savvy. But how much of the teams are going to allow access and even recognize how important social media is to the brand these days?
A lot of teams are doing a pretty decent job with social media, but the team and the rider always has to look at themselves as an individual product. I'm my own product. I'm trying to sell myself. I have to do it the right way, but I have to sell myself.
Right.
I'm only an employee.
Give you access to certain things to be able to help also facilitate that. Because if they don't want you recording while you're in the paddock because you should be focused on other things or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? That could be a problem. You know what I mean?
Very few teams restrict that. The main thing that teams restrict is they don't like you recording inside the garage of what they're doing. But they don't mind recording you when you're outside the garage or in your trailer or anything else. And this is again, if you're riding, you only ride for an hour and a half a day. And then, you prep for another 2.5 to 3 hours, because you prep usually about 45 minutes before your ride. You already start to prep, do certain eye exercises, hand-eye coordination, things like that. And then you race, and then you do your post race. So at the most, let's say 3.5 hours is filled with actual riding.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough gaps in that day where you could be collecting video, you could be collecting other things. And, again, it takes time. But the same time that you're on a bike, riding a bicycle, the same time that you're in a gym, being in the gym.
Let's take it to Cheetah, because he video and his rides and also talks about them and stuff like that. What is your day like? I mean, you're race MotoAmerica, but you haven't been on a huge team. But do you think you would have access the way you would want to have access to create your brand? And what is your day-to-day like outside of racing? Because for me, I need a certain amount of time to get myself in the groove, just think about racing and nothing else, right? Now you got to do media, you got to sign autographs, you got to do all these stuff. And you have to find energy now to be creative for social media.
Forget trying to do it yourself. There's no way these riders are going to be doing this at the highest level as far as focusing on one thing, which is doing their best in racing a motorcycle, not recording themselves racing a motorcycle. You can't get them to focus on anything else. So it has to be a third-party hire. It has to be done where the team's doing this, because even if you gave them all access, they're not going to. I mean, Brandon Posh is sort of decent at it. He'll record himself, but when they're locked and loaded, they're not. Say that again.
I was about to mention him.
Posh is good. Yeah, Posh is good. There's a few riders like Heron that will do it. But I think even for the teams itself, like Strack Racing, I think of him as like the Iron Man, this $100 million man that comes in and gets the best of the most experienced rider, which is Schultz, and hires the best potential youth guy, who's Blake Davis now. I mean, that team needs recognition and needs cameras on them too. Like Strack needs to share his story, talk about what they're doing in development, whatever they can share. And it's just as important to keep the eyes on all the people, the riders, the teams, investing in just the whole sport as a whole. And if you don't do that, that's how sports die. But just going back to the riders, it's super important that they promote themselves as a brand for themselves. And I would even just implore these riders themselves to put their own money to hire some of these guys to just keep their brand going during the racing, because I don't think anyone is doing that actually. I think I've seen Fast Glass Media do some stuff for Heron and do some stuff for PK. Yeah, but who else is hiring them and bringing them into the season? And are there some
Let me
restrictions for that? So
Okay.
let me chime in. Social media is the freest plus the most capitalizing promotion you can utilize. Josh Heron is the king of promoting himself through social media and free platforms such as OnlyFans, YouTube, Instagram. He's he is solidified the man, and people have to emulate that. Followed in second place to me as far as social media presence and utilizing his likeness through the free platforms without paying for it. PJ Jacobson, amazing social media content produced by Fast Glass. If you guys want somebody to utilize for social media, reach out to my boy Dustin, who is the creator of Fast Glass and Fast Glass Media for a lot of riders, including Kayla Yakov. Who is another star up and rising through the social media platform and through paid platform as Moto America's face of racing because she's all over the Moto America platform. And then, like my man said, Brandon Page. This guy is just when you watch him, you're entertained because he always says some crazy stuff. He rides like he stole the bike every time he's on any bike, whether it's a dirt bike, whether it's a super bike, or if it's a super sport. That guy is just something to visual to see you entertained by him. And this is what these riders do. Now they're riders that all they do is win, but you're not really entertained by them. And not to I love Jay Gagne, but Jay Gagne has no passion for the camera. All he loves and sees is this motorcycle and first place. Just like he rides, he's by himself. That's how he approaches the social media aspect or the selling of himself. He doesn't feel like he has to sell himself because he constantly wins. Another person that you kind of feel like he's in the background and is coming out of his shell is Corey Alexander. This guy, he's a super talent, but when he gets on front of the camera, like he doesn't really care for it. But now he's hosting his own show and he's getting more comfortable with being in front of the camera and talking about sponsors and looking for it aggressively. And it's paying off for him. Um, but these other people, Cameron Peterson's another person. Like you want to see him in the front. You want to see him promoting himself. You want to see him talking about who he is and what, showing some aggressiveness and entertainment purpose. But these people, they don't care about the camera. They're here to ride. Their passion is riding. But hopefully, it becomes some type of virus that goes throughout the paddock, and it becomes contagious. Josh Heron is becoming contagious.
Okay.
Yes,
All
man,
right,
he
man.
is.
Listen, it sounds like the teams in Motor America and the riders in Motor America, for the most part, need to step their game up in social media to make this thing work. And there's has to be more accessibility, and because you can always edit stuff out. That's very important as far as top secret sauces to make the bike go fast or whatever. But if you ain't cheating, why can't it be on camera? But that's a whole different story. Let's talk about Josh Hayes, one of the old dudes doing it, making me feel good. I think I might jump into Motor America in a few years because, you know what I'm saying, he's doing it at 50. He just turned 50 on the 4th. Old man time, is 50 the new 20?
Nah.
Man, 50 is not the new 20, but you can turn back the clock when you're that good.
He won race 2.
That's what I'm saying. Insane rain pace. What an insane rain pace. You can definitely turn back the clock when you're that good. And if you can maintain your body,
your opponents.
What's that?
It's so you can turn back the clock when you drug your opponents.
Yeah,
drug the rain.
So slowly drug your opponent. Yeah. No, man. I mean, it was really good, man. And I think the only one that had anything for Hayes was Schultz, but as we all know, he got bucked out of the seat and crashed.
That was a good save.
It really almost saved it, right? I mean, and then still comes back to win third, which is insane, or get third, that is. But Hayes, I mean, just phenomenal, man. I didn't think he had that in race 1. He didn't look as strong, right? But geez, in race 2, throw some rain in the mix, and here comes out all that experience, all those championships that caliber he has with any bike. And he was on the R9, right? So he's looking really good. Looking really good.
Real Luis Ortega. What are your thoughts on old man Hayes?
I always like to see an old man go out there and do something. I don't know if you've seen like the video that's circulating about Genuine falling off stage and his knees buckling.
Thank you.
When I saw that, it was like Genuine jumping off stage, and he's thinking I'm 28, and his knees are like, nah, man, you 54.
The knees will let you know.
Knees give you the truth. But no, if you've ever met Josh Hayes, the guy's in phenomenal shape. The guy rides hundreds of miles on a motorcycle, pedals hundreds of miles when he goes on a bicycle ride. I mean, the guy is just always keeping himself in shape. I mean, for a 50-year-old, I mean, he's got a lot of miles on him. He's got a lot of experience, but the guy, if you really think about his career, he never had a lot of big injuries. He was always a very smooth rider that got away with, less than painful crashes. Like, he only had a couple of really bad crashes in his career, and he just takes really good care of himself. The guy eats right, exercises, does everything, and he comes prepared to race. Like, anytime he puts the helmet on, if you ask him, he believes he has a chance to win, rain or shine. Like, he doesn't just go out there to turn laps and to burn gas and to go through tires. Like, he really lines up believing I got an opportunity to win. Even if it takes a couple of things to go my way, the opportunity is here, and he rides like it. And I hope he gets a couple more podiums this year, to be honest with you, both rain and dry. Like, I think he's going to be, he might not be battling for the championship, but he'll be, I'm going to say by the end of the year, he'll be in the top 6 in points.
Okay. Track stars. Yeah, you're young.
Oh, man. I mean, Josh Hayes is classic, classic, and a multi-champion. And he's had, my guy as a teammate various times. Josh Herron, Josh Herron beat him one time too for the championship. Just to bring that up, just to bring it up, but respectfully, his time has come, and it's great to see him out there, still competitive. But we got people like coming for
like
those
Davis?
seats. Yes, and hopefully soon, one of these days, my boy Yandel makes it to Super Sport or Super Bike. Get him up there competing, because I think that the youth need to step it up. I think in MotoAmerica, the young riders are held back into these smaller bike classes for too long. And contrary, in Europe, they're constantly trying to push them up and get them to the premier categories soon, like real young. But we don't. We take our time here, and I think that it's because we stay idolizing these champions for, I think, too long. And it happens in MotoGP also, but it happens with those premier riders. And I'm not gonna lie, Josh Hayes is a premier rider and always has been. But I think he done what Rossi did, kind of like, you'd stay too long. You stayed 1 or 2 years too long. And I think it's time for him and give up that seat, because there's only 16 bikes in the premier class. It's crazy. And in Super Sport, you got 22? I'm not sure how many bikes we have in Super Sport.
Some races you're gonna have more.
Did you see Lion King? You're the king of the pride. You're just not gonna just give up your seat, man. What are you talking about, man? Just give up? What are you talking about?
When Scott holds on to his hooves like this, and he says like, what does he say when he lets him go? You gotta let him go.
You gotta let him go, Papi.
Come on, man. Come on, man. No, it's fine for him to have a team to get in there because somebody wanted him to ride or somehow. And he also got Teague Hobbs as a teammate. And I'm a fan of Teague Hobbs as well. What do you guys think about the rain? Should MotoAmerica, Lewis, you weren't there for Sunday, I don't believe. Should MotoAmerica have just canceled the day? Was it better to see us run? And I mean, in hindsight, it looks like they probably should have with the amount of crashes that we have seen. What are your thoughts? I'm a big fan of the rain. I love riding in the rain. Jack Miller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think the show must go on, you know, unless it's extreme lightning to where they have to shut it down. Which is that what happened? What the delay was because of that, or was it just extreme rain?
It's extreme flooding on the track. Like there was actual puddles on the track. Like it wasn't draining.
I know all about Barber with turn 5. I mean, there's pictures of us going through turn 5 when we're coaching, where it just looks like we're going through a river. And it's not that bad. It's just in that section, it looks insane. Like right there.
Yeah, that was all flooded out.
Yep.
The back was flooded out. I mean, there was just some serious puddles, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, the show must go on. People have come out. They've spent a lot of money to come out and ride or watch people ride. So they must go on. And, you know, there was a lot of crashes, obviously. We saw that. And a lot of riders crash and really bust their ass. But a lot of riders won that weren't supposed to. A lot of riders finished at the top 5 that weren't supposed to. So, you know, Gagne, you ask Gagne, he would want to say, for sure, let's race. You know, if the way he was passing everyone, impressive first few laps with him passing everyone, the confidence he had, putting the outside passes on people. Yeah, it was a super impressive. I think he put an outside pass on Cam Bobier initially up front.
Yep.
You know, so that was impressive stuff. So I would be actually one of the riders that say, let's not race. I hate rain racing. I don't enjoy it. I'm not a guy that loves it. I never did this for a professional. So my mindset is different. I'm paying to ride and have fun. I'm not trying to go wad my bike up. But if these guys, they have to do it for a job, and it's totally different. They better have that mindset. Otherwise, don't do it, right? So that's my opinion.
Yep.
Lewis,
I don't know, but to me, one of the best races I ever seen was a rain race at Pitt, where I believe, I don't know how many people crashed, but I remember specifically Matthew Schultz and Cameron Peterson both crashing, picking their bike back up, and still figuring out how to get that bike on the podium. And I love to see that type of drama of in racing. And it brings the element also of your pit crew making sure they picking setting up the bike the right way. Especially when you have those mixed conditions where you go from a dry to a wet or from a wet to a dry. Like this is the full team is in. There's not just rider and motorcycle. Like everyone is involved in the win. And I'm not saying it's not when they're fair weather, but it's a big challenge, and we can't just race in perfect scenarios. Because one of the most things that we all know the most is that the U.S. is the most imperfect racing there is. We got the craziest tracks with some of the most challenging pavements, and then we also ride with one of the most challenging rubber compounds with Dunlop. You know, it's a challenge all around, and to eliminate the challenge of weather, come on, we need that. We need that. And I'm glad the race went on because we saw some entertainment and made you want to watch it. Yeah, for the people who go to the races. I go every year to NJMP, whether it's raining or sunny, and I bring my plastic boots, I bring my plastic raincoat, and my Jordans. I'm dressed to impress still. I show up. I suggest you guys do the same because it's just unbelievable fun. There's no one I think does it like Moto America in the sense of the connection you can have with these riders. You meet them in person. You get so close to the motorcycle. The only thing missing is for you to get on and turn one on. But you see the motorcycle right in front of you. You can touch it. Like you're right there. There's no more. I don't think anyone, I've been to MotoGP and I have nowhere near a motorcycle, nowhere near one. But and to see a racer and talk to them is almost damn near impossible unless you got a connection like Luis Ortega that'll put you right there. But Moto America is incredible, and we definitely gotta support more. And I love that Josh Hammond did that video of just asking the people to come out and watch it. Bring your coolers, bring the beers, bring your family. There's stuff for the kids to do. There's stuff for the adults to do. And it's just unbelievable. Some of these tracks have museums in them. Some of them have pools at them, hotel rooms right on the facility. Like, there's no reason for you not to come out to a Moto America race in your area. It's a 2-hour drive, most likely, for you to get there, pull up. You're going to love it. And you're going to come back the next year again.
I just want to add something that I heard Andrew Schultz say today on a podcast, if I may. He said, people that want to see you, they're just going to see you on your show. So he was thinking he was diversifying himself by having diversified guests on his show. But the real trick is to take himself and put himself on other people's shows that he wants them to see. So it's like we have to cross-pollinate these riders and make them like cultural icons in some sense. We have to send them to Joe Rogan, send Josh Aaron to Joe Rogan. I know that's probably a far-fetched thing, but send them on to these shows that are like, they get more publicity. Because some people don't even know this shit exists. Yeah. Let's be honest. Like, they don't know motorcycling in this way exists like right. The way it does.
But I do believe that there's a gang of motorcycle people that know it exists and they just choose not to come out. That too. As well. And I think that's a huge part. But in general, I think in general, I was going to compare it to some other sports, but I will refrain. But in general, I think people need to come out and support the sport. If you're a fan of motorcycle racing in the U.S. and if you're a fan of motorcycles in the U.S., you got to show up, because you look at BSB, you look at what the European Series does in Spain and stuff like that. A lot of other places, you look at the Canadian, you look at Australia, people show up. There's caravans, a lot of caravans. So
why aren't they showing up though? What is it that we're missing? Like, what is it, Rex? What do you think it is? Because it's like, what are we missing different? What are we not doing?
Listen, this is going to turn into a different show now that you asked that question.
That's a that's a loaded question.
I think Moto America has to do what the NFL did. Convince moms to let their kids play the sport. The sport is safe. The sport is good. This is fun. Come out. I think the NFL, I think Motor America have to kind of do that, because the NFL convince women that the sport is fun and safe to watch, and kids are continuing to play that sport and so forth. So it's the same thing.
Well, it's also
I wanted my daughter to ride, and her mom was like, "She's not racing." So it's like, oh my God, well, she's not racing.
Yeah,
but we gotta add the profitability of riding, right? Because even though it's not safe, we see the money that's being made in the NFL. So you say maybe we should take a chance, and let him try it, because I think the number one thing that we know in racing is that they say there's no money.
Right.
It's only that select few that are making the money.
Well, no. But that's too attrition, right? Because a lot of people have left the sport as far as fans. I mean, that's that's why NBA players can get that money, and why NFL players can start to get that money now that we're seeing, or that some of us say is ridiculous, right? Is because there's enough revenue to cover those costs, right? And I think that
definitely.
And that's why we're doing the show, and why we all here doing this, because we want to make the sport grow and be better, and have more people, because it should be. We're very competitive in the U.S., individual states, and overall. So we want that competitiveness and show up. It's nice. It'd be nice to go to MotoGP and hear there's over 100,000 people showed up, like a college football game, right? I mean, a college football game. We're not even talking about pro. And they come out like every weekend for that, 100,000 people. So if MotoAmerica can get 30,000 people or 25,000 people, that's a come up. But it should, and I think it will get there. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that it will get there, because there are a lot of people from who I've talked to from behind the scenes that are putting in their time. You talk about Josh Hayes and what he's doing and spending time and doing these things. There are a lot of older motorcycle folks that are putting time in to do their part to help grow the sport. And so we see a lot of these young, 2015, 16, I see a lot of these young kids now, you see the T Cobbs, the Ben Glotty, and all these young kids. It's because of what these older guys and women have been doing to build up the sport. So I think it will get there. But like the WNBA, I'll say this: if the
bad comparison starting already, man,
the fashion industry can be a gazillion-dollar industry, then what I'm saying, we just need the people that spend money in other stuff, motorcycle related, to just spend it coming out to the racetrack.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think there's money, there's people. I think the moment this sport, I think we've done the biggest effort we ever have in as far as trying to save the sport is starting now. So I feel like in the next few years it will come back, and there's a new era that will show up because of that. And I feel like when the sport is starting to die, more people start noticing that too. Like if you can promote the fact that it is starting, that we need your help, more people will probably, that were on the fence of ever coming out, being lazy about it, they're going to start showing up. And if we can do our best at just promoting it like we are, I think that's all we can do.
That's all we can do, and get people to come out. But I think that, like I said, I think they will long term. I would have loved to get into World Superbike, but I think we're past the hour. We'll see World Superbike till after the race, and MotoGP after the race. I guess let's ask your thoughts on the top three. Quartararo is back, but I meant to say Martin will be back at Qatar. So I don't think he's going to be on the podium, but you never know. I'm going, out front and saying it's going to be Di Giannantonio, Morbidelli, and Bezzecchi.
Wow.
Wow. Can you repeat that?
I'll tell you what.
Can you repeat that?
Going out on a limb. If you want to go on a limb, go out.
I'm going on a limb, man, because you
You said what now?
Who did I say first
Morbidelli again? and track stars. You might have said that. That's just as likely.
Listen, I know track stars is fast, so it's okay. What did I say? Bezzecchi, Morbidelli, and Pecco, right? Is that what I said was the last? Oh no, Di Giannantonio. Di Giannantonio.
Bezzecchi, Morbidelli, and
Di Giannantonio. I don't know the order, but those guys, because they listen. Those guys are fast. The only person that wasn't on the podium was Bezzecchi. The other two's been on the podium at Coda.
Yeah.
So I'm not like just wishing on a star. No, I'm not picking on you track stars when I say that.
I already know what you're doing.
What you got, Tracks?
My man. You know who I got. I got Pecco first. I got. I'm gonna put Bezzecchi in there again. And I got Mark.
Okay.
In that order too.
Okay, that's not
bad. No. Hold on, because my boy is back. Martin is back.
He's not getting on the podium.
He's not getting on the podium, bro.
The first.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. But I got Martin top 5.
Okay, I
Dead
can see that.
alive.
Listen,
Top five.
Lorenzo did it after having collarbone surgery and he was top
Hey,
5.
Lewis.
So
Oh, yo, Lewis, what you rubbing your eyes for, man? What's going
Martin
on,
got
man?
third last year. Martin got third last year.
All right, man. Top 5 on the shit box that he's riding this year. It ain't a
Yo,
Ducati he's
watch
riding
out.
this year.
Watch your
He's riding an
mouth,
Aprilia.
man.
All right.
That
Last year
Aprilia
he was in
looking
the top
right.
5 because he was on a Ducati. He's on a whole new bike, and we've seen that bike is all over the place. It can perform great, or it could be a total shit box.
Lewis, up, left, right. What is it?
Yeah, up,
What
down,
is
down,
it?
left, right. AB start. For me, is the 2 Marquez brothers. And even though he keeps letting me down, I'm going to keep riding the Morbidelli train until he gets on the podium again. He got to get on the podium one more time. And I'll stop. As soon as he gets on the podium one more time, I'll stop picking him because he keeps killing me. but I want to see Morbidelli on the podium again, man. And
He's gonna be there.
Yeah, and the Marquez brothers, I think Mark's going to bounce back. I really want to see Alex take off, man. I want to see Alex go front and really walk away with one, man. I hate to see him coming in second place or like following somebody in second place. I want to see if he's got that little extra sauce. This is a hard track, though. I'm going to say Qatar is one of the most difficult tracks because it's a super dirty track. Since it's in the desert, they get a lot of wind blowing. They got a lot of sand. I mean, it's going to be an interesting weekend. I mean, there might be some opportunities for people that have a little more confidence in their front end to throw it in there and do some things that could like upend the turnout. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I always like Qatar. It's always cool when they race in the nighttime.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I know, you have to watch it when you run wide, with the sand everywhere right there. It's just blowing off constantly on the circuit. Man, for me, I'm gonna go with just what I've been seeing consistently. If I were to bet money, these bets I'm placing are done like I'm placing money on it. So I would do it like Mark first, Pecco second, and then Alex third. But Alex third is for me, it's like a third, could be fourth, could be fifth. With Jorge coming in and Binder was always strong there at Losail. So there's some interesting names I can put up there.
My man said Binder.
The KTM in 2025 ain't the KTM from 2024, man.
That too.
My man said Binder, son. Binder?
No, but if you look, bro, he was the only KTM up there.
Yeah, because he should be. He's got the most laps on the bike.
Bastianini finished 5th. He was up there.
Bastianini was on Ducati last.
He was on Ducati.
Oh, right.
Talking bike to bike. It's
going to be interesting to see what happens this weekend, nonetheless, and we'll see who have it together.
Yeah.
Binder?
It ain't gonna be Acosta, that's for sure, bro.
Oh man. My name is Rex45. Tell the folks how they can find you guys.
Yeah, Cheetah 740 on Instagram and YouTube.
Real Luis Ortega, Instagram, YouTube, and other channels coming soon.
There you go.
It's your boy Trackstars. Reach out to me on Instagram, TRAX_STARZ. And keep your Lewis messages to yourself. Okay? He's trying to reach out to Lewis. I'm his administrative assistant at all times. You know what I mean?
I was like Trackstar sent a cease and desist because Lewis didn't say anything tonight.
This is what this is what Lewis creates, things like this. And you have to be friends with him because he's really cool, Provides
this guy right here,
all day.
This guy right here is telling me this week that he didn't develop the Ducati, okay? And that you were wrong.
Damn.
He said he left the Ducati and went back to Yamaha because you were wrong. All right, just so you know.
Yo, I'm so glad you had that right there, bro.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta invite me that day. You have to invite me back at Mugello, okay? Take me to Mugello so I can have a conversation with him. I'm gonna record the question.
That comment about the development, he might think about.
Yeah, we're gonna do a TikTok on it.
There you go. That's what's up. I want to thank everyone for coming on. Peace.
Peace.